Welcome to the Vault Excel. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day, wherever you are. Hope everyone is safe, staying warm. Thank you, Lord, for those who stood in the gap for the African American people enough to have their civil rights and liberties. Amen. Thank you, Dr. King. Thank you, Rosa Parks. Thank you to the Black and the white people who suffered so we could have our civil liberties. Amen. I was watching a video earlier of a Black woman who was speaking to the police at a funeral home in Ohio. I believe it was Dayton, Ohio. And basically, she was wanting the woman who had been messing around with her husband to be removed from the premises. I really couldn't understand how this situation allegedly went on for 2 hours. That's what she told law enforcement. She's been here for 2 hours. So let me break it down to you the best that I can for what I've witnessed in this other person's channel. She's calling law enforcement. They're asking her 1,001 questions. Who's the lady? Who she's with? Who's with the lady? Who are these people? They're looking out of a square glass through a door out of a parking lot. Oh, it's so ghetto. And she's describing her and she's telling the law what the woman said. The woman threatened her and said she would put her in the grave just alongside her husband. She would KILL her. And what I found interesting is that the police didn't ask a witness did they hear her say this. They took it at face value. That's what was said to her. So lo and behold, they get out to the parking lot. They approach the woman to the SUV. She was getting in on the passenger side. She was basically saying she was trying to leave, but people had her car blocked. So she would have already have left. But she said the wife told me that I would get a chance to view the body, but I would have to wait until everybody left. Well, everybody did leave. So that should have been your cue to get your ass on somewhere. See, let me make this short and sweet. Certain choices that you make in life get you to that point of being in a parking lot, explaining yourself to law enforcement that you've been messing around with this man, he's now dead, and you want to view the body. You done went there with your entourage, your mama, your sister, your daddy, Pookie Ray Ray, only to be put in handcuffs. So then they're discussing, who's going to go pick her up. And you go with mama so I can get bonded out. All this type of crazy nonsense. The point is, you had to have known that he had a woman because the woman, the mother, the wife, I'm getting confused. The wife told it to law enforcement that he asked her, do you know the lady? And she's like, yeah, I know her. So that means everybody knew everybody. Okay? And you were scared to go to that funeral home alone because they probably would have whooped your tail. So that's why you took your mom and your daddy, your sister, your brother, and all these other people. But the weird part is when she told law enforcement when they were standing at that SUV, oh, that's his sister right there. And she was here. She knows I didn't threaten the wife. I didn't hear the sister say anything. Stay woke, everybody. See, it's all about choices you make. When you go into the lion's den, you should know there's a chance you'll get your head bit off. May not be today, may not be tomorrow, might be 5 months from now. But you messing around with this man knowing he had a whole wife, you had to know there would be repercussions. It's just the way it is. It's going to be something. You could get hurt, the woman could hurt you, he could hurt you, somebody else could hurt you. Your feelings are going to get hurt because he's not going to leave the wife. Most men don't leave their wives. So it's the chance you take. It's going to be something negative. And as some woman once said, pertaining to a guy that I once knew, a neighbor, always stirred up trouble. She said, how can something good come from something bad? And that's a good point. You're in mischief, you should know that nothing good is going to come from the mischief. That's just the universe. Nothing good is going to come. So all of you all are in this moment for nothing. Because one, the wife stayed, knowing he was a whore, messing around in the street, and you kept messing around with him, realizing he was never going to leave his wife. So then you end up being in handcuffs, facing a misdemeanor charge of menacing. So then somebody has to go bail you out of jail. And as the officers told her, it's really a matter of if this woman's going to go downtown and press charges, which I'm sure she was going to go downtown and press charges. But see, this is where I didn't understand her in the funeral home because it would appear to be maybe a white funeral home. Because the lady they spoke to, she was Caucasian. They asked her, well, who are you? And they said, do you work here? And she said, yes. As soon as you all saw her enter, you should have already had somebody, security or whoever ran the funeral home, to escort her and her entourage out of there. And more than likely, you knew she was going to show up any damn way. So you should have had security at the funeral home. You should have hired somebody, work a couple of hours, or you should have told the funeral home, there's going to be a young lady here. She might disrupt the services. I don't want her here. I don't want her and her company here. Although it's a public venue, the point is people can't say who they want at a family funeral. You know, it's not Costco or Walmart. I don't care if the funeral home says we're open to the public. You're still talking about dealing with family issues. So if the family say, well, I don't want this one here, I don't want that one here, you probably should adhere to their wishes. So that's what the woman should have done. The young lady should have had the funeral home a picture, gave a picture to them. This is the young lady. If she comes here, I don't want her here. If you have somebody working the door, make sure you have to understand, urban life brings about a lot of problems. Sad to say. And you see this a lot with Black people passing away. There's usually some drama, family drama, friend drama, neighborhood drama, gang-related drama. Gang members can show up, disrupt the services, shoot up the place. They might tamper with the body. I've even heard of a woman, cut a braid off of one of the dead in the casket. People do weird shit when people die. So you should have security at funeral home anyway. You can't just assume, well, the person is dead and it's going to be civilization. It's going to be a civilized event. No, because people don't know how to act. And I don't know why Black folks like to show their tail when people are dead. They show their asses. Because more than likely they were showing their ass before death. So what's the big deal? It's the funeral. It's a hospital. It's a front yard. It's a club. It's a restaurant. If people are ignorant, they're just ignorant. And it's sad that a person would attend the funeral and show out, but she should have known that woman didn't want her there. So I don't even know why she showed up. I guess she said, well, I'll go try and see if I can view the body. But the thing is, if she wasn't able to view, because I really didn't get understand if she's able to view the body or not. I just heard her say, well, the wife said I could view after everybody leaves. So even the officer said, this is funny how she would still be sitting here 2 hours later. Exactly. So if you have an officer saying, why is this woman still sitting here? You should be saying it to yourself. Okay, it's hours later. If she hasn't, been able to see the body, then you should leave. If you were able to see the body, you should have viewed the body and came on out and went on about your business. I really didn't understand what was going on. Because it was stupid to me. And I get it. You messed around with the man, you got feelings for him, he's dead, you want to pay your respects, but think about what you're doing. Because that's what it says, respect. But where's the respect? And going into this place where a lot of people probably know about you, heard about you, messing with the man, and you think it's okay to walk in there and view the body. I mean, you have to weigh both sides. He's actually married. It doesn't matter if he didn't respect his wife or not. He is married to the woman, was married. How's it irrespectful going in there? You want to pay your respects to the dead, but you're still saying, I don't respect the living. That's it. And I get it, we're all flawed, we make mistakes. But anybody should know, messing around with a person, it's a dangerous thing going to the funeral. I remember going with somebody to a guy's funeral. This guy, he wasn't married. He was just he was a whore too. He just messed around and slept around with everything in Knoxville. And some of the women he had messed with were there at that funeral, more than likely, because I was sitting with one of them. And it was a hot mess. It was a hot butter mess. And I've told you all about this story many moons ago. Nanny says, the thing here in Canada, funeral parlors are public. So unless she makes a scene, you cannot have them put out. Okay, well, that's what this person was saying on the channel, that it's a public venue. But I feel like a person should be able to say, I don't want this person here. Why not? They're paying their money. They're paying for the dead to sit in their casket. They paid you a service. So, you know, everything's about interpretation. I paid you a service. I paid to have this person laid to rest in this casket. If I say I don't want this person in here, I don't want them in here. But it's up to, I guess, the owner, as you say, so long as they're not making a ruckus, they're not causing confusion. But then you have to think about common sense. She's going to be upsetting people. She sits there and stands around and lurk about, whether it's the wake or the funeral. People are going to be angry with her being there. So it's an issue, regardless if she says anything or not. What I didn't understand was being in the parking lot, allegedly hours later, 2 hours later, you're still sitting there. What are you waiting for? Because like I said, if she wasn't able to view the body, you should know after a couple of minutes, they're not letting you in or whatever. You need to just go on home. Why sit in the parking lot? For what? But then she told the officers, well, they got my car blocked in. I would have left, but they got my car. You see, these people got my car blocked in. I couldn't get out. I didn't recollect seeing a car. It is what it is. But take the poll on my community page. I put up a poll before going live. You as a woman, would you allow your husband's mistress, side piece, side chick, whatever, attend a wake or funeral? You have 3 options: yes, no, and not sure. I know how a lot of Black people act, especially when it comes to things like this, okay? It is going to be a problem. Especially young people, these were young people. You know, you could tell by the way the people dressed. Most of them had on casual clothes. They were dressed in red, white, whatever. I guess that was the guy's favorite color. And the only person I saw really dressed up was the wife. She had on like red chiffon dress. But the rest of the people were street clothes, casual clothes. So that told me they were young. Now the wife acted very diplomatic. You know, she talked real decent. But yeah, that might be, she might have been putting on a show because the cops were there. But she might have been the type to eat crumb and show out and wild out too. But what I found interesting too is when the police got close to the SUV, the mistress, when she stepped out, she was frowning like she was sad. And I'm looking at her like, what's wrong? You bad? Because what? He dead and the police was called? Yeah, it's a really bad day. It's a bad day that your boyfriend, lover dead, and now the police want to have a talk with you. Now she swears up and down she didn't threaten the woman. She didn't say anything because that's what she said. She says, I've been out here. What have I said? I didn't get a chance to say anything. I don't know if she said anything, made threats, but I feel like if she had made any threats, I would see those people probably trying to jump her. Even though she had people with her, but you still got people who get jiggy and they'll try to bypass those people anyway. It was really sad. Said no way I would. I did not see a poll. Oh, it's on my community page. Yeah, I asked you all on my community page, if you're a female, would you allow mistress, girlfriend to attend your husband's wake or funeral? We call a wake a viewing of the body. This is where people just come in, look at the body, mingle, and or leave. Naturally, the funeral is where you see the body and hear a pastor, priest give the eulogy. Well, I just wanted to share that with you all. Just ask you all, what do you think about that situation? It's dirty business. But see, as I watch more and more videos, content, true crime, crazy videos of just outlandish behavior, especially on Facebook, because I was looking at Facebook while I was in the marketplace looking for some stuff. which was giving me a damn headache. Couldn't find what I really wanted. Some of the prices were too high for some of the items. Just too much going on in the world. People just, these videos everybody's making, all these women half naked, doing stuff, dancing, bending over, showing all the private parts down there. It's just annoying to me. And one video popped up, a black woman, she was walking in a hospital, and she was cussing and talking crazy, saying, I'm going to this hospital to see if my man appeared. See if my man appeared. Because somebody called and told me this girl having a baby by him, so I want to come up here and see if he up here. I thought I was screaming. I said this to one of my friends. She said, oh my goodness, I just watched it last night. And I was just like, this is just crazy how everybody has to film everything. We got a video being filmed of a woman at a funeral parlor in Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, and the police being called. She's the side piece. The man's dead. She wants to get put on, get a view of the body. Then we got this black woman, nice looking young lady, talking through a cell phone, guess she lied, telling everybody she's in the hospital so she get a view of this woman and this baby. She's cursing, calling him B-I-T-C-H. She's calling the upper woman a B-I-T-C-H, hoe, whatever. She's angry. And some people were saying in the comments, why you cursing at her? It's your man that did it. Or like somebody said, it takes two. What are you saying? Ain't no way she didn't know he had a woman. Come on now. She knew. Trust me, if the girlfriend knew about her and heard that this girl's pregnant, then the one that's pregnant that heard about the girlfriend. Oh, we're gonna play the kind of game. But what was funny was she sitting there talking about buying the baby a gift. I was screaming. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna be the stepmama. I'm getting ready to play stepmama up here today, honey. I'm ready to buy this baby a gift. I'm sure I'm gonna take it right there in the hospital room. And then she comes off that elevator and she speaks to somebody and she acts real ladylike. She turns on that proper attitude and like, hi, how are you? And then the camera, she speaks for a little bit and the camera goes off. I wanted to see what happened. You took us all the way to get into the hospital. Well, what the hell happened? Did you go in there? Did you buy a gift, number one? And did you go in the room and say, hello, I'm a stepmama, how everybody doing? And you should have read some of the comments because they were hilarious. Some people were like, yeah, go on in there and take the gift and tell her congratulations and walk back out. And then go home and take all his stuff and throw his stuff out and send him a message and let him know, oh, you can come get your stuff when you're ready. I was screaming. Because you know you can go to jail fucking around in the hospital. See, that's another thing. You could definitely go to jail fucking around in the hospital. On a maternity ward, you going showing out by baby. Baby daddy, oh yeah. They call it security. You would definitely go to jail. They don't even know if, ands, or buts. And who wants to get carted out from the hospital? You know you gotta go to the hospital one day your damn self. So you don't want to get barred from the hospital. My goodness gracious. But let me tell you, I had commented under that video on Facebook. I said, well, I would have called the hospital to verify that the woman was in there. That way I know she's in there. Okay? Now, the flip side is, do I have the guts to walk up in that hospital room to see if my man is in there with her? Okay? Because, you know, you got to get permission to, one, be in the room during delivery and afterwards. They don't let just anybody walk up in the hospital rooms, I guess. So I'm wondering if, one, he was even up there. Did he even show up? And then she was talking about, oh yeah, he was telling me how much he loved me, this and that the night before. And now here it is, this woman giving birth to a baby. And I hear she's up here giving birth and he's up here too, or he may be up here. I'm coming to see and verify. Well, I was screaming. I was like, Lord, this is what the world has come to. Nice looking young lady talking on live stream about going into a hospital to see if her man is in the room with this damn woman in the back. I tell you what, because I like they say, seeing is believing. And I can see how she would want to know. I can't even, you know, down her for not, you know, wanting to know. That's human nature. you living or caring for somebody, and you hear them messing around, and then you hear that somebody's pregnant. Hell yeah, you're gonna want to know. Because if he's up there in the room, he's up there because one, he has slept with her, and he wants to see if that baby is his, or he's up there verifying he's the daddy, taking it with him. He believes the baby is his, so he's there. Number two, he's up there to check the baby out to see if it's his. The point is, he has slept with her. That's my point. Because I had told somebody this a while back, a few years ago, when they had a certain situation where they was at the hospital and allegedly got arrested at the hospital. First thing I said to this knucklehead, I really think about how to really deal with some crazy ass SHIT. Although me and this person were in a relationship, but I've cared for this person, and they were sharing with me that they went to the hospital and they got escorted out or whatever, charged or something for fighting in the hospital. First thing I said was, well, you talking around the subject. Why are you there? Come on with it, Queen. See, I'm a lot of things, and I ain't no dummy. I said, explain to Queen why you are at the hospital. Because there's no reason for you to be at the hospital unless you have slept with her and you were trying to see if that was your kid. So he tried to say, well, I was going up there because she been going around telling people I'm the father, and I wanted to say something to her about it. I said, think about what the fuck you're saying, because it don't make no sense. Does that sound like the appropriate time to approach a woman about a baby? I said, so you need to tell me for 9 months she carried a baby, and you never knew that she was pregnant until you heard rumors. I said, this don't even sound right. So quit talking to me like I'm damn crazy, because I'm not crazy. And this is one of those people who I've dealt with on and off for 4.5 years. It's always got versions, always got these wild ass stories. And this was one of them a couple years ago. It ain't mine. I ain't the daddy. The time went by, he said, I told you I wasn't the daddy. I said, you're not really telling me anything because one, I don't know the female you're talking about. I ain't never met her. I ain't seen her. I don't know nothing about her. But then he was like, oh, that was the one that was in Atlanta that I had hooked up with. I said, well, I'm trying to say, well, how could you hook up with her if she doesn't have that? I said, see, you're telling on yourself. I said, you always want to confide stuff after the fact when the shit that blew up, when it's hit the fame, as old folks would say. You want to come cry to Queen and spin a whale. I said, see, if you had been messing around with her, you would have had no reason to go to the hospital to check nothing out, verify nothing, cuss her out. I said, I wouldn't assume to go to the hospital on a paternity ward to wig somebody out. And allegedly, when I read the complaint, it said he put his hands on her. That's what the woman read to me on the phone. The woman or the man said, oh, matter of fact, the person said, oh, her boyfriend assaulted her. That's what the deputy or whomever sheriff's department said when I called the penal form. They said, oh, he put his hands on her. And they said, oh, her boyfriend. I say, her boyfriend? I said, well, my understanding, I didn't know they were dating. He had a girlfriend or baby mom. She said, well, that's what's written in the complaint. I said, okay, well, thank you for your time. And so I told him that. I said, well, I called the jail. And the complaint says you're the boyfriend. I'm not her boyfriend. I said, well, the point is, that's what she called you. And you didn't have no business up there at the damn hospital unless you were saying congratulations. And you wanted to see the baby. Now, since that incident, that was the summer of, 23, I haven't heard any more about a baby, this, that, and the other. He may have mentioned it to me a few months ago or whatever. I told you I don't have no other kids, but what does that mean? Because I don't know what you got going on. I don't know where your penis is being. I don't see you on the regular, so I don't know what you're doing up here. But like I told you, it's offensive to me because I've been the one who's been supporting you, trying to be there for you, but you don't want to be bothered, you don't want a commitment, and then you want to get out here with all these little chicken head, raggedy ass dolls and screw around with them, and then you're up here arguing in the hospital where you definitely want to catch a charge. That shows me you don't care anything about yourself. And that's what I always have to tell myself when I hear all these whack ass stories from him. He's telling me and the universe he doesn't care about himself. You're a grown ass man getting in all this ghetto ass drama, always dealing with the courts, this and that, probation. It's just on and on drama. And every year you get older, older, older. You're not a kid. You know what I'm saying? You're not a kid. So what is the issue with you straightening your life out? And that's the point I'm trying to make with this nonsense, but this woman and the shy chick and the dead man in the casket. It's the choices you make. You fool with nonsense. This is the type of drama you want to have in your life. People spreading rumors, people coming to you carrying a bone, somebody calling your house, stopping by, banging on the door, messing with your car, calling your job, stopping by your job, following you around, wanting to fight you because of somebody who has not been truthful with you. And people end up dead because of these type of situations. We've seen men who have murdered women who said they were pregnant and they didn't want the baby, so they murdered the woman and the kid. They had relationships, girlfriends, wives. They knocked the female off because they didn't want the secret to get out. Or they got a wife or girlfriend finds out. And now she's hunting this other chick down, trying to beat her up and hurt her. It can go a multitude of ways. And that's the point I'm trying to make. If you make better choices in the people that you are canoodling with, you may not have these type of problems if you pick somebody decent. But when you're dealing with people who are liars, manipulators, con artists, this is the type of drama you're going to be in. You're always in something, wrapped up into something. And I can tell you, this is a life that's not for anybody. I don't see how a person could live this life, whether they're a woman or a man. You got this one over here, this one over here. You're lying to both. You're lying to both. And even if you have children, you're lying to your children. You're cheating your children because the time you're spending with the mistress, you could be at home or at activity with your kid. So you can't say, well, I'm just upset with my wife, my girlfriend. I'm bored. And I just took up this chick. She called me. She messaged me. She DM'd me. So what? So what? The ocean looks nice. You gonna go jump in? The lake looks nice. You just gonna go jump in? You know, it's like a person jumping in the river, the lake, the ocean. No, they can't damn swim. What you jumping in there for? Because guess what? A lot of people jump in and they can swim and they end up drowning. Checkmate. You got to be very careful out here how you tread in life because your choices can get you hurt. And if it ain't physically, it's going to be mental. And I've seen it time and time again. All different walks of life. The woman is angry, sick, throwing up, losing hair, miserable, all because her man is out here sleeping around, making babies. It's not even worth dealing with. Because what you have to tell yourself, if a man can go pick up a stranger or somebody that he knows, mess around with her, lie to her, make up stories about you, then continue to lay with you, play house with you, lie to you that nothing's going on, he ain't doing nothing. What do you have? You don't have anything. You're dealing with a manipulator. Just like the girl has said in that video I watched tonight. Oh, he had just told me last night that he loved me, he cared for me, and now here he is up here at the hospital, or I want to see if he at this hospital with this woman having a baby. What type of SHIT is that? Telling one woman you love her, but allegedly got a baby boy. And of course, you all know the stories I've shared with you about Mr. Professional. When it was months in, I found out he was a liar 5 months later, which was this month. Last year, I found out his real name, his real age, his birthday, and that he had a newborn baby. Although we were not in a relationship, it still was disturbing and it hurt me because he didn't have to lie. He could have told me the truth when he first met me. Hey, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not looking for a commitment, but I'd like to spend some time with you, take you out, so long as you understand that It's up to you if you want to talk to me. That's all he had to say. But he couldn't. He had to lie, 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 lie. For what? And see, this is what I don't understand about a lie. You know in the end what you want from the person or persons. So why play the role like you're interested when you know you have no intention to follow through, to be a decent human? Just say, I'm a motherfucker. I don't want nothing. I ain't gonna do nothing but break your heart. I'm a liar. I'm a thief. I'm a manipulator. Whatever. Do you want to deal with me or you don't? Just call a spade a spade. As my friend used to say, this was his favorite line. You ain't got a lie to kick it. Exactly. A lot of men don't have a problem with telling a woman, I have a wife, I have a girlfriend, I don't want either, but we can mess around, have sex, go out to eat, do whatever, I'll help you out. He could just lay it all out. And it's up to you if you want to ride around. And I told Mr. Professional, you're going to fuck around and find the right one. You're going to find somebody that don't have nothing to lose. And she's going to find out the truth about you, and she's going to knock your damn head off. I said, I don't know why you people come to Tennessee thinking we are slow. I said, a lot of people play these mind games like you play. Oh, yeah, you know, Queen went there. I said, a lot of people have come to Tennessee, and they've left here in a body bag. Don't make me testify to you, brother. I said, I've seen it all living here in Tennessee. And they've come here from New York, California, Detroit, and somebody had to come ID that tag on that toe and claim that damn body. I said, so you keep going out here lying to women, just keep lying and manipulating, knowing you don't have no intention of trying to date her, do anything for her, you're going to find yourself 6 feet under. Because you're going to mess with the wrong woman. And she's going to wild out. She's going to find out where you work, where you live, and she's going to beat the brakes off of you or pop you with a GUN, and that's all she wrote. And anybody with sense, you know, if I was that type of female, I could have easily done something to him because once I found out where he worked, all I had to do was follow him from work and follow him home. And I told him that you're really not that bright. And I also had to tell myself, what could you do with him at this point? Nothing. You couldn't try to sustain anything with him because he's a liar. You could never trust him. You can't believe anything that he says because you got to jog your memory back to all the lies he told, all the times he made up stories that he was flying out of town, going to Florida, he had to go on a business trip. All those were lies. All those versions were lies. The only thing he probably ever told the truth is that on Sundays he played golf. That's probably the only damn thing that was the truth about his black ass. Because I know he likes golf. But if a person will lie about their name, their age, where they work, what they do for a living, you already know there's no way, nowhere you can take it. Because you're lying about the most fundamental things pertaining to a human being. He's just a fraud. A damn fraud. And he was, you know, pleasing to the eye because he was the type of man that I thought I wanted. Do you understand what I'm saying? Aesthetically. Clean, bald head, nice skin complexion, hands manicured, dressed nice, smelled good. He was mild mannered and a light voice. Oh, everything I would want in a man. But the inside was pure cotton. Do you understand what I'm saying? He was nothing but a stuffed ass dog. There was nothing on the inside. Just stuffing. Pull out the stuffing, empty. And this is how a lot of people get caught up. And the more I watch true crime, and I sit up late night watching these documentaries and Oxygen and YouTube and different networks, all the stories are the same. They're all eerily similar. Somebody laid down with a stranger that they thought they knew, and they called that person their wife, their husband, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their lover, and they were with the enemy. And they are no longer here because they were sleeping with the enemy. They had been lied to, lied on, robbed, hurt, beat up, talked about, violated. Until there was no breath. Now, fortunately, there are people out here, such as myself, who are alive to tell the story. That they didn't get hurt, didn't get shot, didn't get unalived by a fool. And see, that's the chance you take in dealing with people. It doesn't matter if it's family, a friend, a neighbor, coworker. You don't know people. You don't know who you're talking to, who you're dealing with, and you've heard the stories endlessly. Oh, he's a nice guy. He is a good neighbor. Same thing they're saying about this Michael McKee guy, the unalived detectives in Ohio. He's quiet. We talked to him at a barbecue. Well, talking to somebody on a rooftop is not really anything. That's so different than every time I go to Walmart, I talk to the little white lady that sits in the front that greets us and she checks your bag to make sure you ain't stole nothing. I don't know her. I know she's got a bad knee. She needs knee surgery because we talk all the fucking time. We see her about once a week. The point is, I don't know her. She could have a husband or a child stuffed in the closet some damn way in her damn house. I don't know. And then I can say the same thing when I see her on the damn Eyewitness News. Oh my gosh, that's the little greeter at Walmart. You don't know people. You see it every day. People do crazy SHIT. We're all guilty. We've all done things we have had no business. We've cheated, we've lied, we've stolen, we've coveted, we've dated people, had affairs, done stuff we had no business. Naturally, you can redeem yourself through Christ, but there's still somebody out there that knows what you did, and they still may not like you. Because we do that. We judge, we're human. And naturally, every liar, thief, manipulator, con artist ain't a murderer, but you can best believe that most murderers have all those qualities. Checkmate. How about that? They've lied, they've cheated, they've stole, they've coveted, they've defrauded. Because a sociopath is a psychopath. And you can best believe when you're dealing with a person with these type of traits, they didn't gain these traits overnight. You know, most people don't wake up stealing at 40, 50. Don't wake up lying at 40 and 50. They've been doing this for years. As I used to hear time and time again with these murderers. Oh, she's good at telling elaborate stories. He does tell tall tales. I didn't believe some of the stuff he would say. I just wouldn't say anything. Why not? Why not? You know, if it don't sound right, you should say something that's your friend. Now, sometimes the people would say, now I will tell Bob, now Bob, you know you didn't do that. Now Bob, you know you didn't go to Paris. That's what you should do. Call your friend out. Call your friend, your relative, co-worker, call their ass out. You let them know. I do not believe what you just said to me. Matter of fact, I don't believe what you said yesterday, 2 weeks ago, and you need to stop them damn lies. And then you know what you do? Walk off. Now, they can either say, okay, she's got me. Maybe I need to stop lying. Or they'll continue to lie. But the point is, you've called their bluff. And frankly, once again, as I've said before, Where can you take it once you know you're dealing with a liar? Nowhere. Because some people will laugh it off like they're children. Oh, I know he ain't been telling the truth. I know he tells tall tales. I don't say anything. Okay, but the point is, you can't say that that's a real friend. Can't say that's a true friend because you have to ask yourself, well, what do I like about Bob? But I know Bob's a liar. What can Bob be to you? Just saying. And I think in relationships, it is time for us to call people's bluff and stop dilly dallying around with the nonsense. When you know you're hearing something that don't sound right, they're trying to shut the information under the rug, talk real quick. You trying to ask a question, they're getting agitated. Oh God, I get this all the time. And it's like, you're the motherfucking one spinning the story. Now I can't ask you nothing. They're telling you, yeah, I want to tell you bits and pieces, but I don't want you digging too deep. Well, that means you're not being forthright. You can't start a story and then a person starts asking questions and then you're getting upset and I already told you what happened. You know, Queen would say, well, tell me again. I'm a little hard-headed. I didn't quite hear you. You know, at some point that's going to get old. And there's people who I want to tell to their face, do you have somebody else that you can call to spend your lives and stories to? Because I'm bored. And I've been bored for some time. And I don't want to hear them anymore. And just like I said a week or so ago, or days ago, about certain people, I prefer you just stop calling altogether. Don't call, don't message, don't do nothing. Lose my number. Go in your phone and delete the number. Hell, block me. Do what you gotta do. Because there comes a point you just get tired of babysitting and coddling grown people. Especially when you know they're not truthful, they're not forthright in the information that they bring, and they're not standing in the damn truth. It just gets old. And then you have to tell yourself, as I just said earlier, where is this going? Nowhere. And I definitely don't want to be up here going into the new year, which I am already, middle of the month, still spending the same bullshit to you all about this one, this one, this one, that one. Uh-uh. One has reached out. I have not responded. I don't plan on it. If the other one reaches out, I'm going to do my best not to respond either because I will say it is peaceful and it is quiet in my head. And it's quiet and peaceful because I haven't been talking to two knuckleheads. And that's a shameful thing to say about a human being, but it is the truth. It's peaceful. And the old saying is, as time goes by, you will soon forget about these people. That's why they tell you stop responding, stop talking to people, stop messaging, stop texting, knowing you're gonna get upset, get angry, say some horrible things. If you stop responding, stop dialing the number, whichsoever, you don't have to worry about it. Let them talk crazy. Hey, let them do it to somebody else. And that's the joy of being human on the earth. There are more humans on the earth. So my advice to them, please call them. Please find you a new victim, somebody new that you can spend lives doing stories and see how they take all the information in. Because this big girl is tired. I will be 55 in 2 weeks. Or another week, rather. Wait a minute, what's today? I'm losing track of time. Wait a minute. 21st. In another week. Sorry, I said 2 weeks. In another week. See, time went by so fast, I forgot which week it is. Today's the 20th. 9 days, rather. I will be 55 years of age, God willing. I wake up next Wednesday. I don't want to have to share any more whack stories with you all about people I've dealt with. I talk about enough wackiness on the network. True crime, crazy stories, crazy scenarios, people I've encountered in my life. I don't want to share any more stories with you all, especially dealing with men. And it's not to say that I won't meet somebody who appears to be nice and then I find out he's a no good MF. It is what it is. But the ones from my past, I just don't want to deal with them. I don't want to deal with you because you're not forthright. And to me, you're disrespectful. When you think you can pop in and pop out like Santa Claus, and then every time you come around, you always got some wild ass story to tell, and always telling me about what somebody else did and what somebody else said, and you're concerned about this person's business. Who the fuck cares? I don't care. Yeah, I won't say it on this live. Because saying it to you, it would be going in one ear and out the other. Angela does not give a fuck about your friends, your family members, what they're going through, the people that you are coinciding with. I don't care. And I definitely don't care nothing about no street people. I don't hang in the street. So what the fuck do I look like, one, hanging with a street person and listening to street people problems? That's one thing that I detest, is listening to ghetto fucking drama every time you ring me up. Hey, how you doing? The next thing you know, you can't even let me catch my breath to answer. You want to start talking about what happened with this person, the district attorney, the probation officer, what Pookie did down the hall, and this one said this, and this one died, and I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm bold tonight. And hopefully somebody that's dealing with this type of ignorance, they'll say to themselves, you know what, Queen? Oh my God, thank you for saying it again, because I need to hear it. I'm tired too. Don't call me talking about nothing somebody else is fucking doing in the street. I don't know them, they ain't my friend, and if I do know of them, what's it got to do with Queen? It don't. Just the same bullshit. You just get tired. And that's what I'm noticing about everybody now. This is all people do, is talk about the stupidest stuff. Like I said, watching that video earlier on YouTube of this people, the stupidest going on at a funeral home. It's a funeral home, for God's sake. No way somebody should be filming this bullshit at a funeral home. Then we got the black girl going live at the hospital trying to see if her man up in there visiting a woman who says she's pregnant with his kid. This is the nonsense that's out here. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. When you watch this type of nonsense on Facebook, IG, TikTok, wherever you're watching it, you realize how messed up we are as people and how we allow ourselves to get up in mischief when we could cut these cookie monsters off. Yes, that's what I call them. Cookie monsters. Always eating and gobbling up everything in sight. As somebody in the chat said the other day on the channel, misery makers. Yeah, not just heartbreakers. Misery makers. You got to tell yourself you deserve better. And I get it, we all gonna have bad days, we're gonna have problems, we're gonna have people say things out of the way to us. You know, we might want to vent, tell somebody, yeah, I'm gonna tell you what this crazy ass lady said to me, this guy. But you do not want to be a trauma king and queen every day of the week. Every day of the week, you do not want to be a trauma king or queen. It is okay to vent because we all gonna have good and bad days, especially when you live in apartments. Apartment living sucks. One of my Facebook friends, she was on there today venting about a neighbor. Kids were jumping a rope inside the apartment. I know I would have run off. And the first thing I said is, apartment living sucks! Exclamation point times three. Because those are the type of things you have to deal with living in an apartment. Noise makers. I know somebody last night was beating and drumming. The first thing I was thinking is, like, y'all know y'all too old to be doing whatever the hell y'all doing. I ain't been here 2 months. Okay, give it a rest. But I'm not gonna complain. Because the one thing I've learned from all the places that I live, complaining leads to shit. Oh yeah. God put me in this place for a reason. And he took me through all that other nonsense for a reason. To show you might have to change things up, Queen. You can't do what you're doing at the last place, Because I've learned that even if you in the right, you can still become public enemy number one. So I understood what that young lady was saying on Facebook friend. I felt bad for her because people don't seem to understand just because you got kids, somebody else may be under you, they don't got no kids. And they want to go to sleep, they want to rest, they want to study, they want to watch TV program. And when she put that on the wire tonight saying they were jumping rope. Oh yeah, it's too cold outside to jump rope. So you let the fuck kids jump rope inside of the apartment. Oh yeah, I've been hot damn butter. I've been hot butter. But that's the world we're in. People don't have respect for you. Neighbors don't have respect. Family members don't have respect for you. Friends don't have respect. Your partner don't have respect for you. Then people wonder why people wild out and pop off and go off because they get tired. Doesn't mean it's right. They lash out, jump out, pull out a Uzi. But people get to their breaking point. And that's why we have a lot of these stories on the news. Because people get tired. Now, I don't recommend you wilding out to where you end up catching a charge. All I'm going to tell you is to pray about it. Talk to Jesus. He's always on the main line. We all get fed up. Lord knows I've been there. I have been there. And I will be 55 next week. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I don't want no more drama with nobody. I don't care if it's the landlord, the office staff, the neighbors. Because, I'm good at ignoring a motherfucker. Anybody in the street will tell you about me. They'll tell you. Anybody that know me will tell you. Oh, Queen will cut you off so fucking fast. She's good at that if she ain't good at nothing else. And she'll walk by you like she don't know you. Oh, hell yeah, I will do it. Done it. You're not getting ready to have me all riled up every fucking day, and I got to now what? Smile on your face? No. Step right over you like you limp. I don't have to sleep with the enemy. I do not have to. I refuse. And I don't have to cuss you out. I don't have to wow out. I can just ignore your ass. Because in the end, that's what you have to do with some people. Because this is how you get yourself in trouble, wilding out, popping off. Now you got to worry about if you're going to have a place to stay or getting a charge for threatening somebody. You have to think. And sometimes, like I said, it's easy to get angry and say some things and boom, it's a slip off your tongue. I'm not gonna hold you all, but I wanted to share with you all that. Oh my goodness, that information about that girl in that funeral, I couldn't get over that. And she was talking real quiet and nice and to the police officers. And I didn't know if she was the mistress or she was the wife. I was just trying to say, well, which one is she? But she was the wife. And I thought, oh, she's being real diplomatic. I said, I bet you when the police had around, she had a damn donkey fast. Because you know, people talk real polite when the police come. But when the police ain't around, they cussing you out. But that was an interesting video watching the police delegate that situation at the funeral home. But I tell you, the one with the girl uh, in the hospital going to see if a man was in the room with the woman pregnant. That just got me tonight. I said, oh my God. This is when I realized, you know what? Being alone, it's not the best, but I ain't got that problem. That's what I always tell myself when I hear whack ass stories like that. I don't want to have to go to the hospital to see if my man is visiting a woman who is pregnant. Whether I know about that woman or I don't. If everybody's talking about it, I just pray I won't even get the gumption to take my black tail up in there to see him in there. But the only way I'm going to know is if I go, right? And that will be the whole point. If I see him in there, then I know he's messed around with her. Because what would be the logical reason for him being in there? It ain't his sister, ain't his cousin, ain't a good friend. So why are you here? Why are you here? And see, that's how things can escalate. As soon as you go in the room, you sit in there, you're gonna be angry. What you doing in here? And then he gonna be, stutter. She what? Oh, she said it's yours. How can it be yours if you ain't slept with her? Exactly. Now somebody call it security because our voices are elevated. See, I don't want to be in that type of situation. And let me tell you something. I won't doubt she already knew about that pregnant woman before the due date. Come on with it. How much you want to bet she already knew he had been messing around with this sugar mama? But word had got back, oh girl, she had the baby girl, she in the hospital girl. Better go find out, go see if he up there. How crazy is that? And think about the man sitting there. What can you say to your girlfriend while you sitting there? That's about it, stuttering. Well, you see, and if he get with a black woman that's crazy, he get knocked out the damn chair. I'm sorry, baby, I love you. I'm so sorry. I'm going to put your luggage outside and you can come up here and play house with your new baby mama. Checkmate. Oh, I let that heifer know right there. Oh, baby, you got you two presents. Come on with it, Queen. You got you two kids. You got you 2 for 1 today. Because guess what? Your baby got a baby daddy that's going to be staying with y'all because he out of mind. Exactly. And Lord have mercy. Don't let it have been my husband. Ooh, shut your mouth. Oh, you gonna stay in this hospital with her and go back to her house with her and this baby. Because you're not coming back to my house. Because this is no longer our house. That address is mine. And bitch, you gonna find you somewhere to slumber because you're not coming back in that. Because what black folks say back in the day, it's gonna be some furniture moving around up in here. Literally. It's gonna be some furniture rearranging up in here if you think you can really come bring your black tail back up in here and you have made a baby with this heifer. Oh no, sir, you will lose. You're not coming back up in here. So you best make you some plans, go find your ass somewhere to stay, but you're not coming back up here. I wouldn't even set myself up for that. And I'm sure there are women who have stayed with their husbands when he then finally came out and told her he got a whole kid. But it hurts no matter if he told her when the woman got pregnant, after the baby was born, couple years, and the baby 10, the baby 15. Pain is pain. So hell yeah, I'd rather know early on when the baby is in the womb and you want to tell me, oh well, I just want to let you know I've been messing around and the lady says she's pregnant by me, it's mine. And I'd be like, okay, and how long have you been messing around with her? And I'll wait to hear his little line ass answer. And then I'm gonna say, okay, well, I tell you what, since you have decided to tell me that I wasn't worthy of your time, you best pack your shit and get out of here. And you could go play house with your side chick, new chick, old chick, because I don't want you. I don't need you. I don't need you. Because I'm not getting ready to walk around and be playing stepmama to no damn baby. I didn't sign up for it. Why should I? And you think I'm ready to walk around here and have people discussing me and talk about me like a damn fool? Hell no. Because like they say, what you don't know, you don't know. But now you done told me, well, I know. Because people don't really sit and think about what your life is going to be like once you say, okay, I forgive you and let's work it out. You got to now deal with whatever drama comes along with that baby mama. Anybody listening out there? So when she's crying about the baby need milk, formula, shoes, this, that, her car ain't working, she need light bill money, she need this, you gotta go to court, you gotta talk to the judge, whatever the hell. You won't join custody. You want what? No, you don't want no joint custody because I'm your wife and I'm not taking care of nobody. See, it's a lot that comes with that. And it takes a strong person to ride that storm because that's an 18-year-old storm. And 18 years just don't fly by like that. Especially when you're in the thick of something that's nonsense. So anytime there's drama with this woman and this baby, guess who's gonna be hearing about it? Exactly. The wife. And you're saying to yourself, I didn't sign up for this. What kind of life can I have now, knowing one, you've been lying to me, cheating on me, and you done brought a whole human in the world, and now I gotta ride this donkey ride with you for 18 years, pretending I'm all right with it. So eventually, guess what? You got to take care of the baby mentally, physically, financially. And guess what? Oh, I want to go away for the weekend. I need some me time. Can you come pick up the baby? Well, where the baby going? Where daddy going with the baby? Back to the house with his wife. And now you got to sit there and sulk and look at this newborn that don't belong to you. And at some point, he's gonna expect you to bond with this baby. Come on, everybody, stay woke. And then the next thing he gonna get real comfortable. Well, I gotta go over here and I gotta go do this and I gotta go play golf and Bob asked me to go to the bowling arena and do this, and you look at him like, okay, and what you asking me to do? Keep your baby for you when it's your turn to keep your baby? Uh-uh. You know, eventually that's just not gonna work because if you're harboring ill will toward this man, probably the baby mama too. You might need the baby, you don't even like the baby. That's going to be a hard journey to navigate because you are angry. And eventually that baby's going to get bigger, bigger, bigger. The child's going to sense you don't want him or her there. And that's just not going to work. Because the one thing you know we're not supposed to be is cruel to a child. Because the child didn't ask to be here, the child didn't choose his or her parents. But these things happen to children. They get caught up in grown folks' drama. This is what I'm saying during this live, how your choices can get you in some really messed up situations. So you have to be a strong person to ride that donkey ride and trying to be a step parent to a newborn baby and knowing this man made this baby wild marriage. He cheated on you. And that baby is a living testimony of the infidelity. And every time you look at that baby's a reminder your husband is a liar. That's hard. And I don't think a man can understand why a woman would not want to be on that ride. Especially if they're older. They already have grown children. They're allegedly living their best life, and then poof, voila, you popping up talking about you got somebody pregnant. You 50 years old, 40 years old, talking about you got a damn baby on the way. Oh, okay. Well, bitch, you go take care of your baby. Because I'm not going to be there taking care of an infant. And whether I got a kid, don't got a kid, that's a woman's choice. She don't want to take care of an infant. You can't force somebody to take care of a newborn baby. That's your choice. You went out there and got a girl or woman pregnant. Why should this be my journey? And I can tell you, I'm that female, I'm not around that ride. Because I know Queen. I don't have a pet, bird, parakeet, dog, cat in here. So I know that if I was in a relationship with a man or married to him and he comes and tell me he got a baby, ain't nowhere to take it. Because I don't want to be obligated. And even if I was younger, you're still a liar. You can't be trusted. Even if you say, oh, I'll never do it again, I promise. So I can sit around and wait for another baby to pop up? No. Hell. Hell no. But this is why I'm saying you have to be careful the people you choose to get involved with in your life, because this is how you end up in a situation that I've mentioned in this live stream. You could be the woman running to the hospital to see if your man made this baby with another woman, or you the wife trying to bar somebody out the funeral home that's been messing with your husband and they want to view the body, or you the woman wanting to view the body of a man you've been slumbering with. These are situations you shouldn't want to be in. And even the woman in the bed who just gave birth in the hospital room, you don't want to be that woman. Because just because you had a baby, you can't think that's going to keep him. He's already with a whole nother human that he's been lying to, and more than likely lying to you as well. So who's the winner? Nobody. Because what you always have to tell yourself, if he'll do it to her, he'll do it to me. He'll do it to me, he'll definitely do it to somebody else. Why women think they're the special one, you're not. Because you're dealing with a liar. Now, you may have 1% of a man who is unhappy in his relationship, and you two meet, universe brings you together, one thing leads to another. He leaves the woman, and you two go off into the sunset, live happily ever after. You don't have any hiccups, no more infidelity that you know of, and you have a really good relationship that you know of. But it rarely happens. It's probably 1%. I know a friend whose father was a very nice man that I knew of, and and he was having an affair on their mother, and eventually, they busted up when I was a senior in high school, and the mother was, oh, she's bitter, and naturally she would as a husband. He was having an affair with another woman in the community, and eventually, years later, they ended up getting married, and they, from my understanding, lived happily ever after. I heard that he was messing around in the street, and she was messing around. Uh, they one each died behind the other one due to sickness, COVID. But they seemed like they were happy. That's why I say 1%. Because you rarely hear of people divorcing, getting with the one that they have been cheating on, and it actually works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. and he ended up becoming a preacher too. But when you live with a man who was notorious for having affairs, it won't matter if he married a mistress, or married Susie in a whole other country, county. More than likely, it won't work because he doesn't have control over his penis. And you see a lot of that even today. And there's so much temptation now with social media because you can readily get to people to contact them. You know, it's just like looking in a Rolodex or Sears catalog, Facebook, IG. It's a catalog, is it not? Just scroll, and look at all the pretty faces and profiles. Oh, I like her. I like her. Oh, let me send my friend request. And then you get all over that DM. What you doing? What's going on with you? You got a man, you got a woman, whatever. And then you wait for a reply. And a lot of men, they only send ladies requests to get in the DM to see what they got going on or to try to hook up, which is so crass. So crass. But people do it. And they're going to continue to do it. And so you have more situations now where people are cheating, philandering, this and that one, because they have a way to reach out without even having to leave their house. Before you had to go out and mingle to meet people. You don't got to do that no more. You can get on the date site, you can get online, you can get on a Facebook group. Next thing you know, somebody's like, hey, how you doing? Hey, I remember you. Hey, you look good. Hey, I checked out your page. And then next thing you know, they're in the DM. And when you hear a lot of the stories with reality TV stars and people that you know of and these true crime cases, it usually has internet involved in the story. How did they meet? Oh, they met online. How did they meet on the date site? How did they meet on Facebook? How did they meet IG? How did they meet TikTok? Snapchat? Now you got the threads business. It's all the same. How many apps do you need just to talk to people and put up posts and show videos and content? Come on. It's getting ridiculous. But this is how a lot of people meet. They're not meeting at funerals and weddings and bar mitzvahs and church. They're looking at Facebook profiles. They're looking at what somebody said on somebody's post. Oh, let me look at their picture. Let me see what they're about. Let me hit that circle. Let me see what they're saying. Let me check out their photos. Let me see if I can see their friends list. Ooh, she says she's single. We get it at DM. He say he's single. We get it at DM. And that's how a lot of marriages and relationships have busted up. It's from the DM. Because, you know. But the one thing I will say, let me check out, and I've said this before on my channel about the date site, Facebook, so I'll say, a whore is a whore, okay? A liar is a liar, a fraud is a fraud. It doesn't matter how they met the person. At a bar, at a club, at a gas station, Costco, Walmart, through a friend, social media, if they are out hunting prey, because that's exactly what they're doing, they're going to do it whether there was Facebook, IG, or not, date sites or not. A whore is a whore. The internet is just a easier tool to pick up prey. That's all. That's all it is. It has some good uses, and it has a lot of bad. So if he's a dog, she's a dog, they're looking for somebody to manipulate, con, defraud. They were going to do it whether it was social media or not. But we get it. People have used social media to defraud people. Pretend they're selling something, beat up with them, beat them up, pull out a gun, shoot them, do all type of crazy stuff. fake sites, to say they're selling this and that. So you have to be careful too with sites you go on to try to purchase items. You need to Google it, make sure it's legit, a legitimate site, selling whatever it is, furniture, jewelry, whatever. But when you talk about one-on-one relationships with people, courtships, when you realize you're dealing with a person that seems fraudulent, they're not telling you the truth, this is who they are. So believe them. And if you feel like you're going to be jealous, intimidated by a Facebook page, IG profile, then you're probably not with the person you need to be with. And you probably need to get you some therapy because it ain't going nowhere. And it's going to always be a pretty face popping up on the timeline. It's always going to be a pretty face walking by the person at work, at the sports game, at the gas station. It's not going to matter. Because if their spirit ain't right, it just ain't right. That's my commentary. Before I go, I'm going to check my community page. You have to go. Ready to get back. Thank you for joining. Let's see how you answer the question about the hopefully I'll be feeling prepared to show myself. Would you allow your husband's mistress to attend his funeral? 11% said yes, 82% said no, 7% not sure, 45 people voted. So we have one comment. Sony Ratcliffe says, my father never divorced my mother. Hell, they just broke up, but never divorced. He had a woman that him and her picked me up when I was younger. She did a lot for me. He had another woman that was also nice to me. Now this is the one he was living with when he passed. Now my father also had two more kids by another woman, and she was nice to me too. Now when my father passed, he hadn't seen my mother in years. Remember, they never divorced, so at his funeral, the woman he was living with was there, but she sat way in the back. The woman he had kids with was there. Now we put us and my mother up front. Oh, wait, oh, okay, but she sat way in the back. The woman he had kids with was there. Now we put us and my mother up front, and his obituary has my mother as his wife. So when I let the mistress come, I mean, yeah, as long as she don't start with my mama. One day I pulled up to my dad's house, and there sat my mom, him, and his woman. Oh my God, googly eyes. So yeah, they all can come. They had dealings with him. Shrug, shrugging emoji. I hugged all of them at his funeral because I went to all their houses. So yeah, hey, come on, just don't say nothing to my mama. Keep it cute and classy, not ugly and trashy. Wow, wow. You know the queen's gonna reply. Damn. I just gotta, I'm gonna keep it real. Damn. What is gonna say? I'm done. Oh, Jesus, well, wow. You know, Queen started getting confused with all that. And this one came, I saw this one and I saw this one. I went to this one's house, I went to this one's house. See, that's another thing. And we'll talk about that in another day too. Your choices can affect your children. Okay? As I said about the woman in the hospital with the baby. That baby didn't ask to be here, and the baby didn't choose the mama or this man. And people don't think about when they're out here in the street, running around from house to house, woman to woman, man to man, you're not thinking about the children involved. You're not thinking about a child growing up thinking that their parent is a good parent. And you see this all the time, how people fall out, how families fall out. One child may believe they have a good father, the other child may think, I don't have a good father, even she know my mama ain't a good man. But then another child has a different perception. Well, I love my dad. Do you understand? This is how families split up and fall out. Because everybody has a different perception of a philanderer. You see it all the time. You have people who enable the adultery, philandering, the man run around making different babies with this one and this one and this one, and everybody's keeping in and copying him. That's why a man is able to go around and make a bunch of children and cheat and not have no commitment because he's been allowed to do so. And he's not caring about the kids. And at some point, if you keep putting up with this behavior with a man, you're also saying the same about your own kid. You don't care about your kids because you should know this is bad business. Allowing a man to come in and out of your house with your children, and he is not faithful to you. And he's lying and manipulating you, and he's also lying and manipulating your child, children. And once you know the truth of what he's doing, you can't continue to play victim. You're supposed to do what's best for your kids. Your kids are first. And that's what you have to understand about having children. What you feel about this and that, sometimes your feelings have to be put on the back burner. Your children are more important. And you do not want to, one, live a lie and also have your child totally live a lie. Because, once again, they didn't ask to be here and they didn't choose you and they didn't choose the father. Your child deserves better. Your child deserves to grow up in a wholesome home where people care for him or her, of them. It's not saying that you're going to always make the best decisions, but I think all of us know that allowing a man to run in and out of the house as he sees fit is not healthy for you, it's not healthy for a child, whether it's the child's father or not. Now, we're not even going to go into if he's abusive, this, that, and the other. That's a whole other story. But you know that would be wrong as well. Your decisions can cause permanent damage. And I can tell a quick story before I go after reading this person's comment. Thank you for leaving their comment on the channel. I really appreciate it, Sonya Radcliffe. When I was growing up in the city of Chicago, I had a neighbor across the street. She was biracial. Her mother was white, her father was black. And she had a older sister who was fully white and a brother full white. She was the only one that had a black father. Uh, she had a different father, her older brother and sister. She was the baby. Uh, One day she had invited me to go over to her mother's boyfriend's house, okay? Now, to my surprise, when I went to this round table, there's a lot of people at the round table. This man was urban, if I remember correctly. Now you gotta remember, her mom was white. The boyfriend was urban. Why? He had a whole wife. So we're sitting at the table. Angela Black, my girlfriend is biracial. Her mama white. the boyfriend Arabic, Muslim, whatever, and then we got these other Arabic folks at the table. I said, shut your mouth, Satan. You can't tell me the devil ain't a lie. I looked around at this table. I said, oh, the devil is busy. See, this is messy. Why would you want to invite us as children to your boyfriend's home and he's a married man? So then I'm sitting here wondering, did the wife sit at the table know that this big white woman was his mistress? Shut your mouth. Lord have mercy, the devil. I just tell him myself, see, honey, let me tell you, Queen got some stories for you, honey. If I go back in the book of life from childhood up to now, I have a story for every day of the week. What I've experienced as a human being. Stuff that would blow your mind. And I don't even know. That just popped up in my head thinking about this comment that somebody put on my channel just now. I remember that to this day. I remember going to this apartment and sitting at this table with a lot of people. And the first thing I said to myself, something ain't right here. And I was a smart kid. And I knew better. I thought, wait a minute. That's his wife. Well, what the hell is going on here? Why are we here? See, children are very smart. Children are intuitive. This is why you don't do wrong in front of children. And so what my friend's mom did was wrong by taking us to her lover's house to sit at the table with he and his wife and family. That was wrong. She had no right to do that. She had no damn right. But I should now, after thinking back, I can see why my friend was a troubled spirit in her teenage years. She had a baby young. I think she had a baby at 14, I think. So it shouldn't surprise me that she was out here running around, sleeping with guys young. She was very smart in school though, but she was sleeping with guys young. Mother obviously didn't care. Mother sleeping around with a married man, going even to the man's house with the wife and family members, taking children when you know that was wrong. And then I'm gonna leave you with this, because I know when I tell you what I'm gonna tell you, you all will be like, damn, Queen, you gotta come back. And I will come back when I tell you what I'm gonna tell you. I'll come back later and share that story. I can see why my friend was running the streets and doing what she was doing. She learned it from her mother, and she also was sleeping with my uncle as a young girl. Checkmate. Now put that on paper. You heard what I said. The same neighbor who lived catty corner from me in Chicago was sleeping with my uncle, and everybody condoned it. So this is what I'm saying to you about coddling bad behavior. This is why it continues, because nobody says a damn thing. I'll bring you an update to that information pertaining to my friend dating my uncle, and the fact that I had to give her the business one day when he took us way up the highway to the movies to a drive-in. Queen let loose. So I think I've always had a little spunk in me. Even as a kid, I didn't bite my damn tongue because I know when to call bullshit, and tell these people when they're doing wrong. I've had to tell a few of those as a child, what you're doing is not right. And I think most of you know, I felt weirded out by my friend dating my damn uncle. She was probably, what, 15 at the time, I was 13. You know that was wrong. And he knew it was wrong. And maybe one day I'll tell you more about that uncle when I get the courage to spill the tea on this network. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this video. Take the poll on my community page. Want to get an update to this Tepe story? I'll bring you more information. Most of it is the same regurgitated nonsense pertaining to this food, but I did not want to talk about it. I want to talk about some other things. I thank you for listening, subscribing. Also, don't forget about me. My birthday's next week. I'll be 55 on the 29th. God is good. Amen. If you like to donate to this great network, $ Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Give us some chats. I always welcome during the live stream. Also, follow me on the news breakout. God bless all of you. I hope you took something from these stories that I have told you and realize that you do need to be careful about the company you keep, and also your own actions and how you carry yourself, because it's the little things that can get us in a whole lot of trouble. Things that we think are little, but really are big things. And know that you may be hurting others and hurting yourself in the end. Thank you for your time. You've been listening to the Father Self. Y'all have a wonderful week.